there was an interview there during the week with James Gunn, and he mentioned about like the MCU becoming homework, and it's like like a lot of people have just checked out because it's become a task. It's become like, oh, this isn't enjoyable, but I have to watch this for the movie that's coming out to make sense, and it's becoming homework for people, and people are just like not having fun with it anymore. The fun's been sucked out of it. So I think that's kind of part of the problem too. Too much
Exactly.
content, not enough care, and then you know, it's just too much. Too much. Like again, I say it all the time, but like, I feel for my daughter when she turns 10 and it's like, hey dad, I want to start the MCU. I'm like, let's go. You've got 50 movies and 16 TV shows to watch, but let's get kicking in. It's a lot for people, like hopefully she's as much of a nerd as we are, and she's gonna, that's gonna be music to her ears. But I could see a lot of people going like, I could see it scaring a lot of people off. And then
Right.
there's some people that just don't give a shit. Like they'll go see the next movie and have never seen anything in the MCU before, and they'll have the time of their lives, and fair play to them. But I'm the type of person that I can't just like watch a random episode of a show. Like sometimes my mates will be like, "Oh, sit down and watch this with me." This is a new show I'm watching. I'm like, I can't just jump into something at like season one, episode 17. Like I needed to watch it from the start. So that's me. Like, but not everyone's like that, and I respect it. Um, yeah, like there was like a final trailer released for Ironheart, and I don't know, man. I'll watch it. I'll watch it with open eyes, or like with an open mind and an open heart, and I'm not gonna purposely try to shit on it. I'll give it the best shot possible, but it just looks like such a weird story. I don't really understand why the Hood is going against Ironheart, and I don't know if that's like a was there like a little comic run that happened in the past, and they're kind of referencing that. I don't even know. It just feels like such a mismatch to me. It's kind of weird, and I feel like there's been other like times where it's happened as well, like where it's just been just really weird like mismatches and just stuff that just you know not the common kind of villains and stuff. And I suppose
Mhm.
I kind of understand that in a way. Like do we want to watch like Batman fight the Joker for the 100th time, or it's like let's see him fight somebody else? So I kind of understand like they're trying to like change it up and stuff. That's one thing, but like this dude, the main villain in the show is the Hood. He, for anyone who doesn't know him, he like gets his power from Mephisto, and he like is a servant of Mephisto, who's like the devil of the MCU. And the show I think is going to start off quite tame and then jump into like this big like magical like dark magic fucking show. And but it's her trying to like create a suit, and she's just a student at MIT, and she's like the new Iron Man, and it's like I don't know, it just feels weird. It's like Iron Man with magic. It's just I don't know, it feels like a bit of a mismatch. Like should the Hood not be going against like Doctor Strange or Wanda, or like keeping it in the Magic family, or go in the Agatha show? Like it just kind of feels out of place, but maybe it'll make sense. Maybe it'll be good, but it looks like Riri's going to be like introducing like dark magic into her tech or something. So like that's going to
Mhm.
be kind of crazy to watch. Like could be good, could be terrible. Who knows? Let's find out. The show starts next Tuesday. There's 6 episodes total. There is 3 episodes airing on the 24th, on Tuesday the 24th, and then the 1st of July we have the last three. So they're doing it in 2 weeks, and that kind of screams to me
Jeez.
like, yeah, that kind of screams to me like, let's just get this out here and get it over with. I think if they were very confident in the show, they'd spread it out because they'd want to like try and take over the streaming charts over a number of weeks. Like
Mhm.
that's what they do. It's all about the numbers, the Nielsen numbers, the charting numbers. They want to try and chart. And if the content is not good, they're just like, let's just get it out of here. Let's just like get it over with. If it charts for a week, great. If it doesn't, so what?
Well, that sucks. I mean, it sucks to hear that they're not confident, or that you can kind of assume that they may not be confident, considering that they're just kind of just shoveling this out.
Well, I think the show was like filmed in 2022, early 2023. I think it was
Mhm.
a finished product like late 23, and then it was put on the shelf. And now we're getting it 2 years later. So you got to ask yourself, you know, like if it was shelved for 2 years, like, why are we seeing it now? Like
Mhm.
are they kind of not to say desperate, but are they just like, oh look, we sunk this money in, let's just put it out? Like personally, that's what I would do. Like, do you remember when DC canceled the Batgirl movie? Like they put 200 million into it, and they're just like, scrap it, we're not releasing it. At that point, like, it was finished, and it's like at that point, I'm like, just fucking release the thing. Like, you put the money in. What's the worst that could happen? Like, if it only makes 50 million, that's 50 million more than you had if you just shelve it forever and throw it away. So maybe they're in that mindset. Like, let's just throw it up, and if it gets, you know, 100 million minutes or whatever. I think they look for like billion minutes or something is like good for streaming times or something like that, or I
Mhm.
can't, or like 800 billion minutes like total or whatever it is. If they can do that, great. But yeah, like I don't know, man. I don't have confidence in the show, and it feels like they don't either, which I think will put a lot of people off. And I could just already see it as well. Like, people are just going to start putting up videos on YouTube and everything, just absolutely tearing this thing apart. Like, so I don't know. Maybe again, I don't really like purposely putting out negative content. We talk negatively about stuff a lot on the podcast, but that's not. I don't go in with the intent to start shitting on something to try and get views. I'm just talking shit about something because it's shit. I'm just being
Right.
real. Like I'm like I call it as it is. You're the same. I'm not trying to grease up the wheels and try and get free shit out of a company, and by just talking fake shit. Like, I'm just, if something's bad, I'm just gonna say sorry guys, you didn't win with this one, in my opinion.
Mhm.
And that's it. Like, on to the next one. Try wow me in the next one. Like, I'm always gonna come back. Like, they don't have to worry about selling tickets to me. I'm always gonna buy them. You know what I mean? Like, I'll always go see the next superhero movie, unless it's something that I really don't give a shit about. Then I'll watch it on digital or whatever. But you know, if there's something in the MCU, DCU, all that sort of shit, I'm definitely going to watch it.
Right.
100%. Like, my tickets are bought. Like, they don't worry about people like us. We're not the people they need to worry about, because we're going either way. Like,
Right.
they need to worry about getting the normies back in. So how they do that, I don't know. I think like the whole chair stream where they were like, announcing the cast of Doomsday and, bringing Downey back. And I think they're going to start slowly dripping a few more big people out. Like Chris Evans will get announced that he's officially coming back. And you know what I mean? Like, they'll start building the hype that way. And then it'll just be one of those things where it's an event, it's a spectacle. You have to go see it on the big screen. You can't get spoiled. And that's how they make the billion again, easily.
Do you think that his announcement that he wasn't going to show up was a faux pas?
Yeah, yeah, definitely. 100%.
Okay.
Yeah, I think he still has appearances on his contract left. Like, I think I think it was released in like 2020. I think, like, before
Mhm.
COVID, it was announced that he had he had signed a contract to do at least two more appearances. So one of them obviously was Deadpool and Wolverine, and I think he has at least one more. And whether it's going to be Doomsday or if it's going to be um Secret Wars. It'll definitely be 100% be Secret Wars, but I think we'll get more Evans than that. I think we could potentially get 3 or 4 appearances from him, because there was rumors that he was going to do his own little Disney Plus series. Now, maybe that might be harder to pull the trigger on now because Disney Plus is such a fucking failure. Like, he might just be like, guys, I don't really want to be part of a show that's going to flop. But to be honest, if Chris Evans returned for a show, that show would be a success. Well, actually, sorry, I say that, I said the same thing about Daredevil, and that, while it was good, it wasn't where it should have been. It didn't perform how it should have been. It wasn't received well, like it should have been. Like the Obi-Wan Kenobi show, it should have been the easiest home run of their fucking careers, and it just wasn't. Like, the quality just wasn't the same. It wasn't there. So I would hope that if they do get Chris Evans to come back and do like a Nomad six part series, like, I think everyone wants the series of Cap returning the stones, a stone each episode or something like that. Would be so fucking cool.
That'd
That's
be
what
really fun.
yeah, that's what everyone wants. And then by the end of it, he either decides to go back and then spend his time with Peggy, and that's old man Cap that we meet at the end of Endgame, or maybe something else happens. Maybe that's how he decides. Like, he hears something in the time stream, like, oh shit, like, who's this Doom guy? I gotta go help, and then that's how he gets to Secret Wars. Like, I think that's what happened in the comics. I think, like, he ended up an older version of Cap, like the original Cap was in like the time stream, and then ended up in Secret Wars, and that was like how he returned like the first time.
Mhm.
or something. I think I didn't read it. I don't know, but that's what I heard. So like something like that would be really really cool. And like I only saw an interview with him today. Like he's still in great shape and like he still looks the exact same. So like he could easily just step back into the role easily. And like I wouldn't ever expect it. It was the same with Jackman. Like you know, it was amazing that Jackman got like shredded again, but I just want Jackman back. Like I don't need him to be shirtless and like, you know, looking jacked. Like I know he's getting up there in the age, like he's in his mid 50s now. So like I would never expect him to just be like roiding up and, you know, putting his health in jeopardy to look as shredded as he can. Like I just keep his fucking shirt on, like, give him the leather jacket. Like, you know, I don't give a fuck. Just
Mhm.
once he's got the claws and he's himself and he's acting like a badass, you know, that's all we really need. And same with Cap, you know. We don't need Evans to look like Captain America. Like he can be a healthy weight and just, you know, wear the suit and they could pad the suit and no one's really going to give a shit because everyone's just going to be so happy to have Chris Evans back in the MCU. You know, they don't really, they're, you know, they're not going to be looking for seeing, you know, seeing that he's still like jacked up to bits. Like, cause I think isn't he in his late 40s now? I think so. Like, you know, he's getting up there too.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's getting up there too. You know, like it's harder and harder for these guys to do this stuff healthily and, you know, safely. So hey guys, this is Finto. Thank you so much for watching the video. If you're new to the channel, please hit subscribe and like, and let us know in the comments what you think below. See you in the next one. Bye bye.